Hi, everybody. A very good afternoon to you all. This is Ishwarya from Geeks for Geeks, and I'll be the host for today's webinar. And our today's webinar will be on the series Know the Young Geeks. And yes, we have another candidate for our webinar. And today we'll be having Mr. Krishna with us, who will be sharing his coding experience. He's a ninth standard student. And yeah, there is more to tell about him that he is an HT Codeathon finalist from last year. So it's pretty much exciting. Another thing that for all the viewers who are watching this series for the first time, I would like to just um, make you aware of this series, that this series is basically that I have started calling it like by the students for the students. The students, those are conveying. Okay, so the students, those are practicing coding in their school and everything. So this series is basically for them to get motivated from their peers and other students, those who are doing the coding in the school, in during their school time, and not time, during their school tenure, and doing this simultaneously. So yeah, it's pretty much that, and it's basically to motivate you guys, to motivate the school student, because coding is something that one must know. It is a necessity right now, so one must know it. And why should one know it, and how you can gain that ability in yourself, and how you can build that ability in yourself, starting from the very beginning, like from the school only. So this particular series has been created um, for that. So for today's session, we have, as I've already mentioned, we have Mr. Krishna with us. So let's add him to the stream and begin with our today's session. Those have any doubt or want to be really interactive in the comment section, we can do that. So cool. Let's begin with the session. I'm adding Krishna to the stream and we'll begin with the webinar. Hi Krishna, how are you?
Hello everyone, I'm fine.
So how is the day going, Krishna? I know
It's
it's
like really awesome. Like sometimes it's really hectic. Um, this is like the exam season, so exams are also going on. Uh,
okay.
yes.
Cool. So basically, can you describe your day, any day, like your normal day? Like what do you do?
Um.
Like if you have a school and you have this coding thing with you, then how do you proceed with it?
Yes, so there's school early in the morning. So first I have to revise what I learned the previous day, so that like I can understand the topics in school better. Next, after school gets over, I have my lunch, and then I work on the homework so as to finish it as soon as possible. Then I start working on my coding, and like I start exploring, learning new things, and that is the most exciting part of the day. As of now, like it's really exciting. After that, I have sometimes I have some coaching classes, and after that, I just revise what I did the whole day, including coding and school and coaching, and then I go to sleep.
Yeah. Actually, I just there was some issue in the internet connection. Am I audible to you now?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. So let's proceed with our webinar questions, basically. So let's quickly begin
Okay.
with an introduction of you, like about you and your school.
Okay, so as you already know, I'm Krishna Toshniwal from class 9, and I'm studying in Shri Ravishankar Vidya Mandir, Borivali East. One thing that is special about my school is that it really focuses on yoga and kriya. Every day we
Wow.
have breathing, kriya, and exercises. So that helps me cope with the stress sometimes. And um, another cool thing is like on yoga day we do the whole day we just do yoga, and sometimes like we focus on exercises. Like I don't think many schools do that, but along with
Yes.
academics we also focus on yes.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So let's move ahead on the next question. So when I wanted to understand, and our viewers would like to understand that when did you start to have an inclination towards learning to code? So when do you
Okay, so
made when did you make
yes.
the decision of that, okay, that I want to learn coding? What inclined you?
Yes. So in 2019, back then I was in standard 7, and I didn't really much know what I have to do with my life, like which career to choose and all that. I
Okay, so
had
you
heard of.
started thinking about this when you were in seventh standard only. People who usually
Okay. Yes, because people were like really interested in other things, like I want to become a pilot or a teacher or a painter or things like that. So even I thought of being a sportsman when I was in third class or something. But after that, are you online? Uh, Anyways, after that, what I chose is coding, because in 2019 I learned that there's something called as coding, in which you program a computer. Before that I was really scared about computers. Like I didn't really know how they work, how they functions, what is the software, how are they designed. But then in 2020, when this pandemic hit the world, uh, okay, I think she's not online because I think she's removed from the stream. Okay, so we'll go on. I think I should continue. Uh, So after I learned what coding is, and then in 2020, everyone was stuck in their homes, and there was not much of interaction like with other people as such. But then I found out like coding was like there was a lot of things about coding, like you can build this, build an app, build something like that. So I tried to find out on myself, like what coding was, how it works, and things like that. And that is when I learned that coding is something that is not really hard. It's like you just build up logic, and then you continue on. Okay, okay. So uh, let's elaborate this a little bit till Aishwarya ma'am comes. Okay, so I actually started out with Python because I thought that I knew about Java and C and C++, but many people on YouTube were recommending to start out with Python to learn the concepts first, and then go on to building huge applications with Java and C++. So I started out with Python, and then first I just learned what the concepts are. I didn't really go into much coding back then. So I just learned what loops are, what conditionals are, what variables are. And after I got well with those concepts, I turned on to Java and C++ and things like that. So I'll also recommend you to start out with Python. Which language do you code in? Right now, I'm actually proficient in Python, like fundamentals and all that. Actually, I made some games with Python too, and then I learned about Java and C++. Okay, I think Aishwarya ma'am is back.
thanks
Okay,
and kudos to you for handling this thing so well. And sorry
okay, thank
to
you.
the viewers. I'm really sorry because of some technical issue. The connection was going really bad, and I had to, just again
It's
reconnect and
okay, no
everything.
problem.
Yeah,
Okay,
perfect. So, what were you talking with our audience? So I have to catch up, right?
yeah. Uh, I was talking how I started out. I really didn't know what coding was till seventh standard, and in 2020, we all were in our homes and there was not much of an interaction. So I
Right.
started learning how these computers work and all that stuff.
Perfect. Perfect. Great. So now, what triggered you? Not triggered, I would say. Like, what did you find interesting in learning coding? That why? It's like what?
Yes. So
So what was
yeah.
that factor that made you like that? Okay, I have to do this particular thing.
Okay, so the opportunities you can get after you learn coding, they are like unlimited, I would say, because technology today touches every field of life. It can
Yeah.
be education, it can be healthcare, it can be teaching, all that stuff. So I thought that once I know how computers work, because these are the future, and that's how I thought about, you know, learning about them. At first, it was kind of a hobby. I didn't really think I just want to go into this thing at first, but then it started developing with time.
Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask, you mentioned in the previous answer when the internet connection went really bad, you were mentioning that you started thinking about your career and everything in seventh standard, right? About
Yes.
like you started planning and everything. I just wanted to know,
Yeah.
did you have somebody in your family or as a mentor to guide you in this selection of the field and
No. Actually,
okay,
my mom is a software engineer, but we
okay.
never thought about that so early. I was the only one exploring, so it was just me and Google.
Okay, great, great. So now here's a question that will clarify a lot of students' doubt, like how to manage between your school work and your extra learning efforts, like that you are putting in coding.
Yes.
So how do you
Yeah.
manage that?
At first, I felt like there was no time for coding, and I was just engaged in schoolwork and things like that. But I just thought about having a look at my timetable. So I didn't make a timetable back then, of course. I just had school classes, not classes, but homework, else I would
Okay.
eat or sleep. So I just tried to reduce the time I wasted in playing games and things like that. So I reduced my time in which I was comfortable, and try I tried to add that towards coding.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So
But
basically,
like
you
at
were
first
balancing
we all
your.
feel like yes, there was no
You
time,
don't
but
have time, and
after,
then when you just
yeah.
take out time from your leisure time, you just took
Yeah,
out
yes,
some time
yes.
from your leisure time.
The time in which we are comfortable, you just
And it
take out
doesn't
that time.
we just wanted to make our audience clear on the fact that it doesn't affect your daily schedule of school,
School,
right?
yes,
You
yes,
just
yes,
you
yes.
can easily take out
No,
time,
that's, yeah,
and with the
yes.
online classes going on, it has become much easier. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So okay. So why do you think it is important to start early in coding? Like you started, like there are people who do not know until their graduation that what they want to do. You have opted this thing. You have, made this thing for yourself in just, a very short span of time and
Yes.
very early stage. So what do you think? Why is it important?
It is really important to start early because it kind of gives you like a head start, I might say. You start getting on concepts early, and in this age, especially, our brain is at a developing stage, so it can just grab all the concepts easily. But when like we are a bit old, at that time, we we tend to have a lot of like stress, and that is a bit of a hurdle to learn the concepts.
Okay, cool. So, Krishna, I would like you to describe and tell your point of view. That what are the future? What do you think that are the future aspects of this particular field, like coding?
Yes. So, of course, this technology and this industry is going to boom in the next 10, 15, 20, even 100 years, I might say. Uh, this era, especially the 21st generation, is totally based on technology, and there's not any other aspect of life as such. But I'm not saying there's nothing other than technology, but uh, most of the money, most of the efforts is like most of uh, technology is like, it's creative. Like, I don't know how to describe this, but coding gives you the power to handle the technology. Like, when you start coding, uh, just a second. Mhm. Okay, so yes, I got the answer. Technology is like the future, and coding is the starting point to it. So I might say you should start with coding as soon as possible. So there's a comment saying OOP, object oriented programming. So yes, those concepts, I took on those concepts afterwards. First I learned the fundamentals and the basics, and then I moved on to OOP. And then after I learned Python and OOP and concepts like that, I moved on to Java, and I started exploring app development, a bit about myself, of course. And uh, after that, I got into C++ for data structures and algorithms. I think Ashwarya ma'am has logged out again. Uh, all I can do is read the comments now, if there are any. Uh, a bit more about this industry is you have to work in a team. My mom taught me how it works. First, we get the uh, project to work on from the client. Then the developers start working on it. The testing team um, like tries it, like filters it, you might say, how good the program is working, how good the application is working. And after that, you deploy. After a final test, you deploy it. And after that, there are some improvements. If there are any, there are improvements are made. After that, the final application is made and it's sent to the client. So that's all I knew from my mom. I just didn't know anything else about coding back then. All I explored on my own. Everything I used to explore everything on my own. So I recommend you to start searching for it. Like, just have um, the will to do coding, and then there are many free websites, YouTube, and all of that stuff, who teach you for free. And even Geeks, the content they provide is really good, and they have a lot of coding questions, and that is really great. So that's all I have to say on how to learn to code on your own. If you have money or you're willing to spend some money on coding, it's really good. You might take some course or something, and that really help. I I do think Aishwarya ma'am has some connectivity issues. Okay, so we should talk about something else then. What I might say about uh, enough of industry and coding. Um, Anything else to speak about is the time handling. I want to speak a bit more about that, because at first you'll feel like you don't have any time left for coding. You are too early. Let it be. Let it be. You just say like, I'll do it tomorrow. That's procrastination. Just leave that habit, because coding is something that needs consistency along with efforts. You have to put in efforts every day. It's like any other field in the world. So I might say that learn to code as soon as possible, because I've just experienced it. My brain, the child brain of children, they grab on concepts easily. Um, I am really not sure if Aishwarya ma'am is there, but let me check. Mhm. Okay, NP. So, okay, I think she's back.
I'm really sorry to the
Oh,
audience about all the inconvenience
okay,
happening right now. I'm trying my best to resolve it as
okay.
fast as I can.
Uh,
I'm really
no
sorry,
issues.
Krishna, for the inconvenience caused. And again, thank you so much for handling the webinar when I was not there. It's more of like that you don't need a host. You
I
can do
know,
it on
like,
your own. You're a one
it's
man
just
army,
like,
right?
no. Okay, like
Cool.
the
So, what all
yes,
I've missed? So, you've discussed the your thoughts upon the future aspects of
yeah, the
coding and the industry.
industry, yes.
Cool. So, let's talk about your favorite language now.
Um, at first I started with Python because I didn't really mean to take Python as the main language on which I'm going to work on, but rather to grab the concepts like loops, conditionals, and everything. After I knew the concepts behind programming, I moved on to Java and C++, which are the fundamental languages of this industry, of course. I might say Python is really inclined towards data science, machine learning, and Django, which is backend of a website. Uh, you can't do much of uh, applications with Python, whereas Java, I might say, is uh, a bit more consistent in today's world. And it just depends on which field you want to go in programming. If you want to go in the website things, you have to learn HTML, CSS,
Okay.
JavaScript, and all that. Yes, so it's really I started with Python, but now I know Java and C++. I really don't know what's the issue, but okay, let's discuss a bit more about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so there's front end, there's the back end, and there's full stack. Um, Front end is like HTML. I really don't know what to speak right now because I don't really have a topic to do that. But anyways, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and some extra frameworks like uh, I might not say React JS because I don't know. I mean, I think it comes in the backend side, but I might really ask you to go on to. Okay, I think she's back again.
You don't have to mention it again and again because this will happen today.
Okay.
Okay. My last question would be to you that we want to understand that how was the reaction of your parents if you like you
Um.
um, opted for coding with
Yes.
your school. So some people go into
Yes.
engineering, some people go
At
into
first,
IT,
they
and don't
thought
go
it
into any
was.
other thing. And I assume. So what was the reaction?
Yes. So at first, they thought I was just wasting my time. Uh, I was not doing something really
You can
productive,
continue. I
but
can hear you. Maybe I'm not visible.
yes. Yes, that's not an issue. At first they thought it was like uh, something I just wanted to do for some time and then I leave it again, because that has happened like 2 to 3 times before. I started with sport, and then I left it because I couldn't perform very well. So that was what happened at first, because they thought I'm gonna have it, and after a few months I'm gonna leave it again. But this was not the case this time. After some time they became really supportive, and then they encouraged me to learn more.
Okay, great. So before we lose the connection again, let's quickly begin with our this
Yeah.
and that session, and let's complete this
Okay.
webinar. So I'm going
Sure.
to ask you, I'm going to give you choices, and you have to select one. And in between, I will ask also that why. So my first one for you is Android or iOS.
I'd rather say iOS because um, if you develop an
Am I
app,
audible to
the
you?
yes, yes, I I don't think you can hear me, but can you hear me? Okay, never mind. Um, I'd rather say iOS because iOS users have a bit more spending power than Android users. If you develop an app and publish it on the uh, Apple Store, then the purchases or people spending money on your app, the chances are a bit more because um, data shows it. I never know. Data shows that iOS users have a bit more spending power than Android ones.
Okay, cool. Now, my next one from you would be it's ebook or paper book.
It's a paper book because ebook never makes you learn something really good.
Right,
But yes.
correct. Okay, what do you prefer to study? PC or laptop?
I'd rather study on a laptop because it's portable, whereas a PC, it is like on in one place.
Okay. Your favorite e-commerce website, Amazon or Flipkart?
I'd rather say Flipkart because sometimes things run out of stock on Amazon, and you just find them on Flipkart. It has happened to me sometimes, so and the variety is also like more on Flipkart. So I'd rather say Flipkart.
Okay. Now, this is my last one from you. What is your favorite subject? What do you like more, maths or science?
Maths, of course.
Maths. Okay, cool. So now, my last question from you would be like, have you done any projects, Krishna?
Yes. So
So can you
at
please,
first, when I
yeah,
yes,
can you please tell us about that?
yes. So at first, when I was coding in Python, I I started using a library called Pygame, which helps you make some games in Python, and I just copied the day to day games like Snake and Ladders, Ludo. I tried to program them. Some of them were Solitaire, I think, and Monopoly. Ludo, Snake and Ladders, Solitaire. Yes, these four. I just tried to replicate them and build some logic on what they work, and I think I was quite successful.
Am I audible to you, Krishna?
Yeah, I finished with the project section. Okay, I don't know what am I supposed to do right now, but okay, I think we can conclude it here. I actually have no idea what I'm supposed to do, but let's hang here for some few minutes if there's no response. Okay, I think we should conclude it. I got the reply. Okay, so so I might say, as the final advice from me, I might say you should go on to explore it yourself, because you have to code. And your will, you should have a will to code. It's not like you're just coding for coding. And many people just code for money, because there's a lot of money in this industry, of course. So this is what we can say about coding. It's really important, and in the next coming years, coding is a essential skill you should have. And I might say that you should really start learn to code. Like, you should really. And Geeks for Geeks, of course, is a good website. It has a lot of content, according to me.
Okay. So thank you so much, Krishna, for today's webinar. I would really like to thank you for handling this situation and the webinar today, because it was
No
all you
issues.
in the webinar today. So thanks again. And this was
Yes.
the
Thank you for
the
having
winding
me.
up of the webinar. You're most welcome. I know there were hurdles, there were problems today, but yeah, we worked as a team, and yes, we did it. So congratulations and
Okay.
all the best for your
Thank you.
future.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
So, guys, that was it. That was our today's webinar, and I'm really sorry for all the inconvenience caused in today's webinar because of the technical issue and the internet issues. I hope that you guys will understand that issues come and go. Sometimes this happens. So yeah, but yes, kudos to Krishna. He handled this really well, and he took the webinar, just single-handedly. So it's very nice. And yeah, so this was our session of Know the Young Geeks. And if there's any feedback that you want to give us, and so you can just drop in the comments, your feedback. And also, if anybody of you who is watching and is a school student and want to be a part of this webinar series, there is a form. There's a form in the description. You can just log into the form and just put in all your details, and we'll connect with you. And who knows that you can be our next guest on our Know the Young Geeks webinar series. And yes, we try that this connection problem won't happen again. We'll try our best. So yeah, till then, take care, keep learning, and we'll be back soon. Bye bye. Take care.